Which card this is? Yeah, so this is a customized Mercedes Benz, very expensive. Now, I'm going to talk about a little about what the kind of work that we've been doing. What do you think about customization? Is customization good or bad? Good. Why is it good? You get it according to your needs. Okay. What else? According to your taste. Okay. But upon is according to your taste. It's standardized. It's not customized. Okay. So yeah, of course there are a lot of benefits. If you have the money, you can take this car. It's very, very expensive. It's a customized Mercedes. I'm going to talk about the not so good things about customization. It's always expensive. Customization is always very, very expensive because you say it's according to your taste. So you need to hire that sort of dedicated set of engineers from IITs who will dedicate their time and resources onto it. And it will always be expensive. See, it's always time consuming. So for example, if you buy a car from off the shelf, you can actually buy a car in a day. So you order a car today, you get your car delivered in a week's time or so. But if you get your cars customized, I don't know if you guys have heard about this guy in Bombay who actually customizes his cars and takes, sorry? DC, yes, DC. Really top there, yes. So you can get the cars customized, but it takes time. If you have the time and the money to do that, you can always get it. And it's always inefficient. Inefficient because of various reasons, because there is no assembly line. An assembly line will always bring in a lot of efficiency into a system. So customization has these problems. But of course, all of us know about this car. I don't know how many IIT engineers were involved in the design of this car. I take pride because Mr. Tata was an architect and the architect actually designed this with a lot of help from IIT engineers. So the thing about standardization is that it is always efficient. It's always economical. Now, I don't know if you've realized, do you remember Maruti 800? Do you know what the price was 20 years back? It was 2 lakhs. Today the start of the basic start car which is this is also 2 lakhs. How is it possible? When everything in our lives have, double, more than double, triple, our salaries have gone up so much. But the starting price of a car today is the same price it used to be 20 years back. This is all about standardized products. You get into standardization and you bring in a lot of efficiencies and the price also is kept low. It always takes less time. You can buy this off the shelf across most parts of it. The quality is always high because you keep on repeating a process. I'm sure your engineers will understand. In an assembly line, you keep on repeating one thing over and over again, so it is always quality and it's always efficient, the whole process. So the same thing is about everything. I guess McDonald's is not in Guwahati, but I'm sure you guys have had McDonald's. So now imagine if you go and order a Happy Meal, how much time does it take for you to get the order? 2 minutes, yes. Now imagine cooking that whole thing at home. It's going to take you probably how many? 5 hours. It's going to cost you 10 times of what the Happy Meal is going to cost you. So again, standardization versus customization, there are pluses and minuses. Clothes, all of you I can see you. And nobody, has anyone visited a tailor in recent times? You don't go to tailor. You have? Okay. For what? Pants, yes. But today you have options where you can actually go to a store and buy ready stuff. In our childhood, we didn't have those options. We always had to go to a tailor and get your shirts and pants stitched. But that is how the world has changed about everything in our lives. Tickets. I don't know if you even know what this on the left side is. That's what a ticket used to look like, a railway ticket. There was no concept of reservation. You just have to go to counter, he'll give you some yellow or pink slip, this is your reservation ticket and this kind of ticket. Today, I don't know how many of you guys actually take trains to your hometown. You can log on to IRCTC site and you can actually get packages. Holiday packages also. You know exactly when the train will come and when it will reach, and then you have a taxi picking up from the station and all of that. Indian Railways, I mean, hats off to Lalu Prasad, he's done all this. So, I was on a train journey, Bombay to Pune, and a friend of mine was actually with me, and he was trying to invest into a property in Pune. And so we went there, we met the developer. It was, I think, a 2 BHK. And then the building was under construction, and he was asking him questions like, okay, when is the building going to be ready? And he got some vague answers like it will be ready approximately around 2015. How much is it going to cost? X rupees, but XYZ cost will be extra. You'll have to pay certain amount in cash and all of that. So the whole building industry, I'm leading you slightly away from what I've been talking about. Now, while a lot of standardization efforts have come in, efficiency has come in, even in the railways, I don't know if you guys realize that today trains actually run on time. It was not so about 10 years back. Why? Because the signaling system has actually become electronic. It used to be manual earlier. So I'm saying, even if public sector units like the railways also have become so efficient, why is it that the building industry, the housing industry where I work in, which has probably all the scams are about the building industry and land today. It has the biggest money power probably, and still that agency, that industry has not been able to fix this problem. Today also, if you ask anyone, any builder anywhere in the country, how long is my project going to take? They'll give you some vague answer. You never get definite industry. So this is what set us about, I think, what you spoke about ICH, ideal choice. So then we thought that we as technocrats, and I studied architecture, but I never really practiced architecture in the real sense. Can we find a solution for India's housing shortage? There's a big shortage of housing in India. It's about 26 million units as per the official figures. And this number keeps on increasing. Has anyone built their own home yet? Have you built your own house with your father? Okay. So the thing about building a house is that, is it okay? Okay. So the thing about building a house is that the way probably my father or my grandfather used to build a house, we still build a house in the exact same manner. Secondly, I don't know if you guys have realized that there is no infusion of information technology or any kind of technology for that matter in the housing industry, in the building industry. It's the same way. You go on the road outside, the road under construction, that road was being built like that. I've seen that road being built like that for the last so many decades now. They're doing it exactly the same way. So we said, okay, we've studied architecture, there are a lot of friends around us. Can we find a holistic solution around this so-called housing crisis in India? People keep on talking about this affordable housing problem. How much does the affordable house in Bombay cost today? Any idea? 2 crores. Is it affordable by what standard? Now you move to another city, that shifts to maybe 30 lakhs in another city, 1 crore in Delhi or Gurgaon. But that's not affordability. And this number keeps on increasing. 26 million was the number last year. Today, as we speak, it probably has gone up to 26.5 million. So we said, okay, let's see if we can find a holistic solution. This is how a lot of you engineers will appreciate that. Sorry, that a lot of engineering happens this way. The picture that you see on the right side. Engineering is all about a linear process, especially guys who are into, I don't know if you're into car design, automobile design, you realize that production is always linear. You have the windows made in a certain factory, the engine made in some other factory, and they all come together in a linear fashion in a factory, mother factory, and then the car is put together. The car is then taken to a showroom, and from the showroom you actually have some accessories fitted and it's delivered. Whereas the building industry is a completely non-linear thing. Anyone has a plot of land, he wants to build his house or his office, he would go to uncle or some friend, find out who do I go to get my house built, and then the whole non-linear process starts. And this is where a lot of inefficiencies, corruption, all these kind of problems come in. Largely led by customization effort by an architect. So our whole concept was, okay, can we look at inspiration from a lot of industries like the automobile industry and make housing itself a linear fashion? Can we build houses in factories using information technology and bring about a change there and make houses more affordable. This was what our study was all about. Any question on this so far? This video is supposed to play are now built as components. So they're just about 4 components in the house. These are like Lego blocks. These are concrete blocks. And we have a standardized set of designs. There are 5 designs actually. So it is like walking into McDonald's and ordering a Happy Meal. And within that sector where people earn 10,000, 20,000 rupees a month, people are happy to get a concrete house. Pakka ghar chahiye. I do not need a Taj Mahal like one of us want. So standardization effort works in this. You can actually expand it horizontally or you can expand them vertically over a period of time. So uncle gets married, somebody gets married, you want to envision them, you can add it. And secondly, these are also, this has a salvage value. And this is what we actually got a feedback from the National Housing Bank, that if you can begin to fund houses the way you fund vehicles, wherein if somebody defaults, you can actually take away their car. This is what is inspired by feedback from the National Housing Bank. So these components, Lego blocking kind of components, actually we build this in Ahmedabad. A lot of this is being done in Ahmedabad from a factory in Pune. So they're put in a truck. The whole loading and unloading process is done in such a way that when you unload, it's like dump proof. You can unload it only one particular way and there's no other way. Because you go to remote places and then you have the chance of people unloading and putting the wrong component in the wrong place. All of these components are sort of tagged, so there are barcodes in the components, so you can actually scan them. When you scan, it automatically updates the project management schedule as well. This whole system cuts down the whole construction process, the time by about 80%. The price is more or less the same, but we are hoping that it will be actually 10 to 15% cheaper. So for us, we looked at the housing problem or crisis as more as an opportunity. We realized it's a $200 billion gap in the market. There is no established builder working there. And this is the same about a lot of the problems that we have. And the reason for saying this here is that a lot of you guys, this is of course something about entrepreneurship, will get fancy jobs, and I'm not asking you not to take those jobs, but there are a lot of opportunities out there. I know we keep on thinking that there's no national consensus. Tomorrow the BJP, if it comes, people are afraid that, oh, the policies will change and the whole industrial policy will change and we'll not have the same playing ground that we used to have when the other government was there. But we keep on saying that there has to be national consensus on a certain thing, on a few things. Look at them as opportunities and not as, problem areas. And it has to be a private initiative. I mean, this whole dependence on government and thing will not work for a long, long time. So this is more or less, something which I've written about in my book, Smartphone Down People, in a much more humorous way. So we'll talk about that a little later. But again, coming back to this meal, when we were kids, when we were hungry, we used to go to mom. She would give me a plate of food. I would eat. I do not remember, taking a photo of what I like, calling up my cousin 200 miles away and saying, hey, I just about to have this. I'm going to click a photo, and I'm going to send the photo. And if you like the photo, please tell me that you've liked it. But today, what do? We upload everything, right? I guess all of you guys have, Facebook accounts. So Facebook for thing has become the new soap opera. You've got Wi-Fi in this campus, right? You're always connected with all your friends. So you know who this guy is? Yeah. So probably Obama knows I'm an IT contributor. Everyone who's connected, I don't know if this is connected now. I mean, people are watching you, and that's a fact. There's no hiding away, there's no running away from that fact. And it's all about this small instrument which we call smartphone. It's amazing that I'm in today in just about 10 years time. I can still learn my business out of a smartphone. And there was something like this. I don't know if you know what this is. I mean, this was my house phone just 7 years back. I still have the line, but it's a new, better looking phone now. And And this is, just imagine, and this is all this has happened over the last, how many, 7, 8 years. So the rate of change has and keeps on increasing of how things change. So when Gandhiji actually resigned, the whole announcement came on Twitter. I mean, could you imagine like this could have happened? I mean, politics would be managed and done over Twitter 5 years back, and everyone is on Twitter now. Any idea where this is from? Am I too wrong answer? Galat jawab. This is from Minority Report. I think this was about 7, 8 years back, when Tom Cruise was actually moving some screens within a big screen from left and right. This looked very futuristic. I watched a lot of Hollywood movies, just for inspiration. This looked very futuristic 8 years back. Wow, if we could do this. Any idea who this is? Who this actress is? That's my daughter. She was doing this 2.5 years back. I mean, so what is imagination? There's a very thin line between imagination and reality today. So what is like futuristic, what is imagination becomes reality so quickly. I mean, earlier when we used to have that Bajaj Chetak scooter for 20 years. Today, unimaginable. So even a guy, I mean, poor guy, he's, kept himself as the poor man's leader. Thank God he's in jail, can't see this. He can't have a Twitter account because I'm a poor man, I can't have a smartphone. But he also had to make a comment on that. So everyone's got into this whole IT thing and people are taking advantage of it. He's the original Lalu. He's the original guy. The whole campaign, re-election campaign was actually on social media. I don't know how many of you know that. And he's a smart guy. He says he does his own tweets. I don't believe it. Any B-Day students here? There's a bit of morphing. Any students from design? Oh, you're there, okay. Sorry about this bad photoshopping. But the thing about it is that technology is, I say it's like a great leveler. So Obama can talk, or that lady in rural India can talk exactly in the same fashion using the same technology like Obama can. So technology is a great leveler and has the capacity to bring about a lot of change. Now, if you just look at the lady for a second. So, of course, there is a very high penetration of mobile phones into our deepest corners of the country. But the thing about this whole photograph is that the picture behind her has not changed. The mobile phone, of course, is brought about the big revolution. But the black and white portion behind her has remained the same for the last 50, 60 years. This photograph is from 1952. But it's the same thing. If I just go back one slide back, if you look at it, background, it's the same. This is our housing industry. I made this again, Photoshop, black and white. Looks like 1950, 2013. 1950, 2013. So a lot of things have not changed in our landscape, and the whole idea is that can we use technology to bridge this gap between the haves and the have-nots? And that's why I'm in IIT, hoping that you guys will do something. And more or less, this is what I've written about in my book, Smartphones Dumb People. It is not a sarcastic book. It is, the answer is yes. People know that people are not dumb, people are smart, and we can use a lot of innovation and entrepreneurship and build an ecosystem where IITs will work with governments and the industry, like in the West, and hopefully tomorrow you will take pride. The guys in the West take a lot of pride in saying, I'm a Harvard dropout, I'm a Stanford dropout. I don't know how many of you will actually take pride in that, but one day we are hoping that, we'll have that ecosystem where the government is supporting ideas being generated in these campuses to work with the industry, the sort of like a triangular education, industry and the government system where people will write checks for ideas and take it forward for social innovation. We don't need so much of Facebook kind of innovation, we need more of social innovation. So these are some of the things which I've written in my book, mainly for the Facebook generation. This whole, okay, so I think that's about what is the kind of work I have been doing, we have been doing. Any questions?